Each new day is a fresh beginning. Hi everyone, Antonio Thornton. Today is February 18th, day number 49 of 365 Science of Mind. And today's lesson is each new day is a fresh beginning. And the quote that I've chosen for today's lesson is, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. And that quote is from Seneca. Now, the text says, while there is a place that dwells in eternal stillness and in action in the innermost recesses of our soul, there is also a place at the circumference of our being that, animated by the inner spirit, goes forth to accomplish. If we take time daily to sense this presence, believe in it, and accept it, before long the life we have known until now will gradually disappear. Something new and wonderful will be born, a bigger, better, and more perfect life. We will pass from sadness into happiness, from lack and want into greater freedom, from fear into assurance. Through the continual emergence of the creative principle, any last finality proves to be but the beginning of a new creative series. This eternal spiral, finding its base in the everlasting reality, will never cease to emerge. Our increased awareness of spiritual truths will make each day a fresh beginning, a new approach to reality, a spiritual adventure arising fresh from a new and arising fresh and new from the original creative principle active within us. Again, what a wonderful gift that each new day is a fresh beginning. What a wonderful gift that is. We can choose what we desire for our lives every single day. We can choose it every moment. Yet here's a great opportunity for us on a regular basis, every single day, to choose what our reality will be. Now, I talked about this in a previous episode where I discussed the show Westworld and the loops that are talked about in that show, and how they're such a symbolic representation of the loops that we create for ourselves. You know, we create whatever loop it is we're playing. You know, we can choose whatever that loop is at any given time. But we choose to play the loop that we played the night before, the day before, the week before, the month before, the year before, whatever that loop might be. Because all of the choices that we've made in the past have led us to where we are right this very moment. All of those choices have led us to where we are right now. But the beauty of that is that the choices that we make right now will predict where we'll be in the future. You can virtually predict your future by the choices that you're making right now. Because the choices the choices we made in the past have led us to where we are now. The choices we're making now will lead us into our future in the general sense of the linear timeline that we participate in. Why do I say it that way? Because what do we know about time? Time is just an illusion. We know that when is the only time that exists? Right now. Right now. However, in this duality or dualistic world that we live in, we choose to believe in this linear motion of time where you've got past, present, and future. And that timeline, and this is not to get too far off the beaten path, but knowing that timeline doesn't exist gives you the opportunity to virtually manipulate time and space for to your benefit. Because each new day is a fresh beginning, you can choose what you desire for yourself. Listen to this. If we will take time daily to sense this presence, believe in it, and accept it, before long, the life we have known until now will gradually disappear. The life we have known until now will gradually disappear, as it should disappear. Because even though we play these loops, the fact of the matter is we're growing in those loops. Because there's no stagnant, there's no sitting still, there's no not moving one way or the other in this world that we live in, this life that we live. We're either growing or we're dying. So we're growing in those loops, meaning that we're making those same choices over and over again, but we're expanding in those loops, or we're dying. And of course we're not dying, so that's really what we're doing on a day-to-day basis, is that we're expanding into those loops. And we can choose whether we want to expand into this loop or this one. We get to choose that. We get to choose whether or not we want to expand in sadness or happiness, in lack and limitation or abundance, in fear or in love. We get to choose which loop we're going to expand in. Because the life we have known until now will gradually disappear. Something new and wonderful will be born, a bigger, better, and more perfect life. And it's not to say a more perfect life in that, oh, your life has no problems, no worries, or anything of that nature. It's the fact that your life will be more perfect for what you are aligned for. And if you aligned yourself with the loop of nothing works for me, if you've aligned yourself with the loop of I can't find a mate, if you aligned yourself with the loop of no one's going to love me, or I'm not worthy enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not this, I'm not that. If you've aligned yourself with that, you're going to continue getting more and more and more of it. You're going to grow and expand into the perfect living or the perfect reality of that. But you get a chance to choose that. How many times have you found yourself saying, well, that's just how I am? How many times have you found yourself saying, well, that's just how that thing is? That's just how he is. That's how she is. How many times have you found yourself saying that? Now, whereas we can't control other people, we can always say to ourselves, is that just how I am? Now, you could say that's what I've done in the past, but you can always make different choices for the future. If you've made past now choices that have led you to where you are, you can make different now choices to lead you to a better and bigger and more fulfilling and more perfect now in the future. That's our choice. That is our choice. No one else's. No one else's. And I love this here. Through the continual emergence of the creative principle, any last finality proves to be the beginning of a new creative series. That's exactly what I read from the quote. From every new beginning rather, comes from some other beginning's end. That's exactly what this is saying. And that there's beauty in that. There's beauty in that you can make any adjustments and any changes to impact your reality at any given time. Any last finality proves to be but the beginning of a new creative series. This eternal spirit, finding its base in the everlasting reality, will never cease to emerge. You will never cease to grow. Until you're dead, you'll never cease to grow. You may be growing in fear and worry anxiety, depression, and all these other things, or you could be growing in love, abundance, prosperity. But you're always that eternal spiral. That eternal spiral will never cease to emerge. It will never cease to emerge. And listen to this. Our increased awareness of spiritual truths will make each day a fresh beginning, a new approach to reality. That's a powerful statement. A new approach to reality, a spiritual adventure. A spiritual adventure. Is your life an adventure? Or is it mundane and ordinary and repetitive and monotonous? We have the opportunity to create a spiritual adventure every single day, arising fresh and new from the original creative principle active within us. What can we take from this to apply to our lives? Try that experiment if you haven't already done it. Do the experiment that I recommended from the other episode where I talked about choosing who you want to be every day. In that exercise, I said, whatever the first thing you do in the morning is, whether it's turning off an alarm clock, picking up your phone, whatever the case may be, whatever the first thing you do is put a note there. Put a note next to anything that you do. First thing in the morning that asks you, who are you? And you can use whatever variation you want. Who are you today? Who are you being? Any variation. What do you want today? Whatever. Something that stops you immediately before your brain really gets back up to speed and wakes up and really gets into, okay, what choices am I pulling from the past? Who am I going to be? What am I going to do? All those types of things that support who you were. Before your brain gets into that mode, you hear your alarm going off and you grab you touch the little sheet of paper. What is that little sheet of paper? You're squinting at it with one eye open and it asks you, who are you today? Oh, wow. Who am I today? I'm a loving wife. I'm a faithful servant. I'm a successful entrepreneur. I'm a fantastic brother. I'm a community leader. What is it that you want for yourself? I make healthy food choices. I make other healthy life choices by not smoking or over drinking or doing drugs. Whatever it is you want for yourself, you can choose. Whatever you want for yourself, you can choose in that moment. That's your practical application for today, which is the same exercise I wanted you to try a couple of weeks ago. If you didn't try that then, let's try it now. And if you did try it then, give me some feedback in the comments to let me know how that worked out for you. And maybe this is a reminder to get back on it. Sure is for me. Let's move into our meditation and affirmation for today. We're going to take a deep breath together, and I am going to read this affirmation and state it in first person for me, for myself, and I ask that you really open yourself to hearing it for you and receive it for yourself as well if you choose to do so. I also recommend, just to add to the experience, closing your eyes and getting yourself in a comfortable position. Obviously, if you're not driving or doing anything that would cause you or anyone else harm, by closing your eyes and following along with this affirmation. So we'll take a deep breath together. I'm going to breathe in and hold it just a second. and then let it out. I enjoy my present experiences and joyously anticipate each day's increasing good. Opening my heart and mind, I allow the creative action of God to express through me. Aware that as my capacity to accept good expands, I become a blessing both to myself and to the world in which I live. I rejoice at the greater possibilities of my future unfoldment. And so it is. As always, thank you so much for joining me on this journey of mine. 365 days of the teachings of Ernest Holmes, of the Science of Mind textbook, and wonderful philosophy book of a way of life. So, as always, feel free to like, share, and comment. And until tomorrow, I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.